and welcome to my channel, Hustle and Motivate. If it looks like my audio doesn't align with my video, it's because it doesn't. I had to re-record my a voiceover just because the audio that I initially recorded with this video wasn't great. So if it looks like I'm not sounding like what the words aren't sounding like they're coming out of my mouth, that's because they're not. It's a voiceover. I apologize. I'm going to get it together with this editing. But a little bit about me is that you can call me H&M. I probably will never show my whole face just because I do want to keep some things about me confidential. I've seen some of the vitriol online towards creators who do show their face, and their safety, once they blow up, their safety becomes an issue. And I may not have that currently, but if the videos that I post to my channel do ever become popular, I just want to make sure that I'm always thinking about my safety, and that is something that I always put at the forefront. So if you ever see my face, it'll probably be by accident. A little bit about me is that I am 36 years old. I'm living in the Midwest. I pretty much chose to create this channel as a way to hold myself accountable and a way to reach out to fellow fasting people who are looking to lose weight. What I saw was a need for more plus size people doing fasting videos, just because most of the YouTubers who are creating these videos, they're around 200 to 300 pounds. There really isn't someone around 500 pounds or around my weight that are creating these videos, and I would love to see more people documenting their journey and just getting healthy. I've been overweight since I was a child. Obesity for me has always been a struggle. When I was a child, I was obese. When I was a teen, I was obese. When I was an adult, I was obese. I've always struggled with weight loss to the point where it's now, if I don't do something, then I do believe my days are numbered and I need to do something. Back in 2017, I got really focused and motivated on losing my weight because a previous supervisor at a job had made comments, and that really put me through a lot. You got to go to work, and so being at work with that person was not something that I could handle, and I ended up quitting that job. However, after quitting that job, I said, you know what, I can't go through this anymore. He was a complete what, but I said I also need to do something about my weight. I ended up losing a lot of weight with Metafast. I started my journey with Metafast at 450. I got down to 406, felt really good. And then I made a healthy wager to lose 100 pounds in 6 months, and I did. So by April 2018, I was down to 306. I felt really good. And then by my birthday month of September of that year, I actually had gotten down to 290, 289, and I felt really great. I ended up going to Vegas and celebrating myself, and I felt really good. However, after that, everything went downhill. I ended up getting harassed at my new job, racially harassed, and then I was racially harassed outside. That led to me having to go to court and getting a restraining order against the guy who had racially harassed me. And when I put in a complaint against the employee, fellow coworker who was harassing me, I ended up getting retaliated. So things were getting really bad at that time, and I turned back to the one thing that has always made me feel better, which is food. Unfortunately, I've always used food as a way to cope with whatever is going on in my life. If I was going through a breakup, food. If I was getting disappointing news, it was food. If I was quitting a job, losing a job, or the few times that I've been fired, food. It was always food was always the coping mechanism. And when I look back at these people on the 600-pound life, when they say that they've been through a lot of abuse, be that violation abuse, mental abuse, physical abuse, the abuse starts early on in the childhood, and my story is similar to theirs. I really didn't have a good upbringing, and I went through a whole lot to get to where I am, and nothing has ever been given to me. I've had to work hard, harder than everyone else that I've gone up against to get to where I am. So when I got to this point in my life and I was fired when I was actually doing a good job, I mentally lost it. I didn't even worry about my health. I was unemployed from February of that year until September because the guy that fired me was retaliating against me and giving me bad reviews. So I couldn't really do more other than just keep applying for jobs. And then when I did get jobs, I got a job that in September, that job was not something that I was ever used to doing. It's hard to go from, being in, let's say, hospital or customer service to selling coins, which is what I was doing, and I couldn't do that. And so I ended up not having the job until October of 2019, and that job was 45 minutes on a good day away from me. I don't know if you've ever been in the Midwest, but we have snow days 4 to 5 months out of the year. So with it being that with the commute now being during the winter, I was 2 hours to work, 2 hours back. Mentally and physically, I could not do it any longer. So what I did was I kept that job for a little over a month and then I quit. And this was around the time that the pandemic started, and I quit that job and no, might as well say December. Most people aren't hiring during the holidays. They're not. They put that on the back burner to January. So January is when the pandemic was more, when the pandemic was being more discussed. I was applying for jobs, really wasn't getting anywhere just because of the pandemic. The people who had turned me away previously, obviously they had remembered why they didn't say yes the first time, and that was because of the retaliation. And so now I just decided, okay, well, I'll apply to the census. They're looking for people. The census job ended up getting pushed back because of the pandemic. And so I ended up just not working from December of 2019 to August of 2020. And that may not sound like a long time, but that's a long time to be sitting on your butt and just eating. And that's exactly why I mentioned that part, is because I was pretty much sedentary during that whole entire time. Imagine just being in your house eating, eating, and eating. And that really wasn't good because the pandemic was a blessing and a curse for some people, because there are a lot of people that have lost weight and were able to just get on by with the job that they had because it offered remote. If you weren't working and you didn't have the connections, it was really a bad experience. And that doesn't even tackle whether or not you lost someone during the pandemic. Also, this curbside pickup, that was a blessing and a curse in itself, because you were either able to get food brought to your car, and it was great if you weren't working on your weight. But if you were someone like me who needed to be working on your weight, that was a curse, because all it did was offer an easier method of getting food that typically you have to go into these restaurants for. And so after experiencing all of that and just recognizing that I have a problem, I decided to start my weight loss journey back. And I didn't even bring in the point that it was getting to be very difficult. I started my journey last time at 450 pounds. I didn't have all of these hiccups. Maybe walking over 10 minutes was a problem. However, this time around, I noticed that it was a challenge getting, like, just sitting up in the bed, going to the bathroom, wiping myself in the bathroom, taking a shower, washing my body, making sure I'm able to reach all of the places that needs to be reached, going outside to my car, leaving my car and coming back home, cooking, cleaning, sitting down. And so once I had all of these struggles, I said, I've gained back all of my weight and then some, because I've never been this lethargic. And so that motivated me to step on the scale, and I was ashamed at the number that I saw. It was really despicable. I had weighed in at almost 500 pounds, and I had never been this heavy in my life. 450, 406, even 300 and 290, those are still high weights. But being 500 pounds, that's when I was like, oh, you're morbidly obese, even though morbidly obese is a term that they would probably use to anybody that was over 100 pounds away from the ideal weight for someone who's 5'4" like myself. So now I've just recommitted to losing this weight and doing it as quickly and healthy as I possibly can. So what I did was I got online and I search YouTube for for fasting regimens. I was already a member of the Facebook group Snake Diet, but I really didn't follow Cole Robinson, who's the leader of the Snake Diet, just because I can't deal with that "hey fatty" type of talk. Those are the words that were used towards me as a child. I don't believe that I can heal what hurt me by using that same method. There has to be some love there, and he can do what he wants to do on his channel. I understand a lot of people follow him, and if you do and it doesn't bother you, go for that. But it's not for me. However, I did look through his channel to see what I can employ in my own regimen, and I came across the fasting death diet. Basically, you don't eat at all, and when you do drink, you drink when you absolutely need to, and what you drink needs to contain sodium, magnesium, potassium. So I'm going to mix that advice with Dr. Berg's advice, which is taking the electric light powder that he has and that I currently have, and taking that with 1/8 of salt. And that's going to be what I do after I stop this 7-day dry fast. And I'm going to do that for the next month. I'm going to take his challenge because Cole said if you do this for a month, you can lose 100 pounds, if not more, maybe 150 pounds. So, okay, challenge accepted. The snake death, the fasting death diet, fasting, yeah, the fasting death diet. I'm going to see if it works, and I'm going to document my results. I do think that some people will be interested in following along. That's why I created this channel, and I'm going to keep uploading my progress. Depending on how many people decide to follow my progress, I may go to posting my results every day, or if not every other day. My frequency on posting will depend on how many people are actually following me behind on my journey. That's why I created this channel, for motivation, accountability, and support. Motivation is people being in your comments and encouraging you, and you going in their comments if they're documenting their journey and motivating them and letting them know that you're there to support them. It also acts as an accountability measure, because I've been on Love Miss Maya channel as well as Amber Lynn's, and I see the way the commenters react, and I know that can be motivation in itself. Just like if you're gonna have some people following you, they want to make sure that you're actually losing the weight, because that's what they want to tune into. So that right there is motivation. Also, I created this channel because I know at some point my channel is going to become ready for monetization. And I created this channel, one reason I created this channel is to be able to, once I lose this weight, I do know that regardless, I'm going to have to get skin surgery. And I'm going to have to get that excess skin removed. And that's what I'm going to have to do, make sure that I'm planning for. So I look forward to people commenting. I'm going to post my initial weigh-in results. Please like, comment, subscribe. If you have any questions, I'll be getting back to everybody. Otherwise, you have a great day. Thank you for tuning in. If you have any comments about what you would like to see, let me know. Have a good day.
Hello. It's ready. $496.6.